Get more confidence, dates, and sex. Build the relationships and lifestyles you really want.
DatingSkillsReview.com presents a training program for dating with different world-class experts in every single episode, teaching you the secrets to their skills and success.
Dating Skills Podcast, the podcast for men.
Hey, this is Angel from Dating Skills Review. Today we have Future from Love Systems, who is generally called Thompson. So we'll go with that for the call. Hey, Thompson.
How's it going?
All good, all good. Okay, well, so it's really cool to be talking to some of you guys. We've got some of the Love Systems guys on the call over the next few weeks. And Thompson's actually been in the community and around for a very, very long time. So first of all, I wanted to get a bit of background on, exactly when you got into the community, when you started all of this, because, you're really one of the people who's been around here the longest and one of the guys who's been working with Love Systems the longest.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I have been working at Love Systems the longest, besides Savoy. My background was probably like a lot of other community guys. Especially from that time period where I got out of the Marines in 2004 and came to New York and thought, being a veteran, being 23 at the time, and being able to buy the co-eds at my college beer, certainly vaginas would be flapping down from the sky, and it turned out that was not the case. I had, it shouldn't have surprised me because I was the kind of kid. I played Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, and I love video games, and so it's like, it's not these aren't the kind of hobbies that sort of grow your game, and so when I was in high school, if I went to a dance at all, I would read poetry in the back, and Marines had to force me out of the barracks to go and play reindeer games. So the fact that I arrived in New York, the city didn't go, hey, yeah, lots of hot young girls to fuck you. We got that right over here. That's that'll be this. No, that wasn't how it worked. So I went to a David D'Angelo seminar. And the seminar itself is the Clubs and Bars seminar. I'm sure he's got a DVD out, and I'm probably on it because I asked some questions. And the seminar itself was kind of crap, but it's like anybody who finds this stuff where it's a whole new way of thinking. So I was just like, what? This is crazy. There's a whole community. There are like all these people like doing this. It was like. There was no The Game at that point, and there were no TV shows, there was no Keys to the VIP, there was nothing. So it was just the internet and a bunch of horny dudes trying to figure out what their brothers and fathers hadn't taught them, and it was awesome. So I took my workshop with Mystery in March 2005, and Savoy invited me to be one of the first approach coaches for the company, and there are a lot more there, but I feel like I've already taken up time with this question. So September 2005 was when I started working with the company, and I think later in that month or early October that month I got on the website, and that was me.
Wow! So basically over 5 years now, and that's a pretty long time.
Almost 6. Yeah, almost 6. It'll be 6 with Love Systems in some form this coming September.
And still going strong.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, I took a hiatus when I fell in love with a girl I met on August 20th, 2007, and I took a hiatus from the company and came back to work on, I left the company December 27th, 2007, and on May 9th, 2009, I did my first boot camp again with Ted Magnet and Cajun, and I had a real job in that period of time, and the thing about it is this is the greatest job in the world. I mean, it just is. There are a lot of downsides, but my job is traveling the world. I change lives every weekend. I have to flirt on the job, and I'm a creative. I write. I do stand-up comedy, and so being around people on the edge of emotion all the time is so inspiring and so exhilarating, and it's it's amazing, and I meet the most amazing people, and I get to have a transformative role in their lives. It's exciting to go to work all the time.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting, So you took it was like a year and a half out or around that.
Yeah.
That's quite a big break. One of the questions I've had in the past is, are these skills that you pick up and you develop, and then if you don't practice them for a while, do they just kind of disappear and you have to kind of struggle up that hill again? Or, when you came back in 2009, was it just like, straight back into it as if you'd never been out of it, and it's just something that's kind of natural?
No, I don't think it. I'm not that kind of personality. I'm a pretty emotional guy. I'm pretty sensitive. I really would, I've often been out where it's like I want to renew the supply, or I'm just horny, or I'm hungry, or whatever, and I'll be in the middle of a bar or some watering hole with my friends, and I'll be thinking, man, I really want to find out what happens next in that book. So that's where I'm coming from. I've had to learn how to make those environments fun, and I think that's one of the things that makes me one of my positive traits as a teacher is that I can identify with students who don't necessarily think that clubs and bars, or going out expressly to meet women is a good use of time. But I also don't lie to myself about how about being a horny male. So the skill set definitely atrophies. For me, it's about common use. It's just that because I had this talk with myself when I fell out of my relationship, and I think a lot of guys who leave a relationship can identify with this, where it's like you're like, I was this guy, like what happened? And you have to remind yourself that you're still the same person. It's just it's a reference point. One of the things that I find really interesting about, particularly coming back into the world of sort of tactical seduction or dating science or love systems after a long hiatus, is that a long hiatus from a relationship, is that relationships, for a love relationship to work, there has to be mutual need. And I think that balancing the level of need, as anybody who studies this stuff knows, like neediness is toxic to attraction. And the thing is, like, if you don't need someone, why are you exclusive to them? If somebody needs to be like, oh my God, the sun rises out of our ass, like that's the person you got to commit to. And while that is great for a relationship, you still need to maintain your own strength. You need to be iron. You need to, the certain part, you still cannot be weak. And I think there is a great tendency in men, possibly for all time, but certainly these days, where when you get into a relationship, you soften. You relinquish that edge, and I think that it turns off women. It's one of the reasons why women sort of find themselves disillusioned with the one He-Man that they took up with, and also you find that your edges have dulled when you go back into the dating world, or when you're acting with other women. You realize that you've softened, and I think you definitely have to take the whetstone of experience back to your edge and hone it. But and that's just I think that's for any guy in a relationship, because I get a lot of jocks and warriors and people who have like just been they've had girls throw in their lap and they married a 10 and then some just didn't work out, and then they're like, oh, whoa, what happened? And that's a matter of sort of coming from a different reference point, and those guys get good really quickly, and I don't know how much practice they need, but I imagine it's less. Whereas for a guy like me, I don't have some of the background that some of our instructors do, so I really do. I have to practice. I have to make use of the skills, or that's part of who I am is a little less hypermasculine than sort of what I know to be the path of least resistance toward getting women.
Right.